Welcome to the CAC series on animal behavior. This is the chapter on communication. When we talk about communication, we usually think of people having a conversation. But is talking the only way we communicate? What about facial expressions? Or text messages? Just think about the meaning of a hug. So what is communication really? Well, it's actually a lot harder to define than we would initially expect. A broad definition of communication is the transmission of signals from sender to receiver. A signal is something an animal produces that has evolved to carry a specific message to another animal. These definitions suggest that the main components of communication are the transfer of information, an intended recipient, and a specific message. When we begin to study communication more closely, we can separate general types of communication into different categories, characterized by being either verbal or nonverbal, and vocal or nonvocal. Verbal, vocal communication is what we usually think of first, spoken words. Verbal, nonvocal communication involves written words and sign language. While some great apes have demonstrated the ability to learn sign language, these first two categories, for the most part, are exclusive to humans. The other two categories of communication, the nonverbal categories, are more important to the study of animal behavior. Vocal, nonverbal communication includes calls that animals make as a signal to one another. For instance, the chimpanzee's pant hoot call is believed to be a signal to other group members that the individual found a plentiful food source. Another great example of vocal nonverbal communication in non-human animals is beluga whale vocalizations. Belugas are so vocal that they were even nicknamed sea canaries due to their frequent high-pitched calls, chirps, whistles, and trills. Nonverbal, non-vocal communication includes visual communication, such as the animal's body language. An example of this form of communication is elephants holding their ears forward. This visual display makes them look larger and is often used to intimidate potential threats, like predators. Communication that is both nonverbal and non-vocal also includes chemical communication. This type of communication is one we don't normally think a lot about, since our sense of smell is a lot weaker than most animals. Nevertheless, there's a whole world of chemical communication happening right under our noses, so it definitely should not be overlooked. For instance, most people have seen a cat rub its face all over something. Well, cats actually have scent glands on their faces. So when they rub on something, they are really marking their territory with their scent. While we may not initially think of it, so much of human communication is nonverbal too. Again, think about facial expressions, or even body language and hand gestures. Think about the meaning of a scream or a laugh. Think about how our tone of voice affects the meaning of what we're saying. We are constantly communicating to each other in nonverbal ways, whether we consciously realize it or not. In this way, so many of our forms of communication are really not all that different from non-human animals. Through an evolutionary process, we have gained verbal communication, but we haven't lost all of these nonverbal signals that transmit information to one another. When studying animal behavior, we simply have to widen our perception of communication, and maybe even change the way we listen to become more attuned to these nonverbal signals in order to recognize and appreciate all of the different voices of the animal kingdom.